I keep
getting started soon. My apologies.
Well, maybe I can move this camera closer.
Because this doesn't work?
That doesn't work unless someone has
no
a battery.
Pack.
Hey,
no power.
Could
Mix up
we
We're lucky to be
strap
here.
this to that one of those stands so I can get this closer to her?
I think it was almost out of morbid
No,
curiosity
just,
you're
that they
going to be in
said.
the shot.
Sure.
No,
Right.
not going to be. But
Secretary of
just
Interior
bring
is
this
here today, I suppose.
Why this location?
I had no idea. I didn't know. Oh, why he's here or why I picked
carry
him?
sound.
Why you picked it? Why you picked it?
Put it on there?
Oh,
Yeah,
because the higher beams for me. Yeah.
I think here would be better sound.
Yeah, but are you going to get audio?
Yeah, the audio from here. I'll just try to down this. Planes are constantly.
It's understood. Honestly. If there weren't, everybody would say this is deep state fake. So thank God for those.
Down in your shot now?
Yep, we'll reset them.
That's,
You think you're good?
that's good.
You're where you need to be at? Let me see if I can get...
Okay.
No, I'm good with that.
You're good with that? Okay. You don't hear? Well, I muted it. Here, now let me try. Now say hello.
Thank you for your patience. Hello, hello.
Okay. All right.
Somebody decided the blanket's super cool. You're getting props on the blanket.
Do you hear her now?
You did. What did you do?
I moved my mic closer. She was talking to the camera. Maybe see if I can move my mic closer. Down. Well, I'm going to introduce her.
I can't see you, so
This isn't in your frame, right?
No.
I have to. Yes.
You want to put that camera right?
I think it'd be too close to her face, though.
Yeah, but if you're going to get audio, if you're not going to get audio,
Let me see what that looks like.
I mean, I think the radius on that mic for that, it's got to be wide, bro. There's no way. I mean,
But the mic on that.
on that, it's got to be getting a wide radius. I'm surprised that it's not getting picked up.
well, she's speaking very softly, though. That's the problem.
I got you.
And there's there's external noise.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get. What's that?
Oh man, can you
Yes.
catch it to here so it's
I know. We're moving the
getting
camera.
there like that? I would keep it low enough and point it up so that it's out of frames and whatnot.
Okay. Let's see. I want to get a kind of.
I don't know if we got a long enough cord.
Okay, that's fine. All right. I know. Let me just. Yeah, that's way too close. I have to face this up. Okay. Once her computer's set up, though, tilt it up. No.
Try this again.
I don't think that's good. It needs to be higher. It needs to be.
Why don't you use the actual?
I think we should. No,
Just move up the screen so we can see her face.
I would. You know what I would do? Here, it's like this. Here, just think it like this. Does that block her face too much
It says it's waiting.
on your end? Are you ready to go?
And then we don't see anything.
No, we're good with that.
I just need one more.
Here, you hold it. You hold it. Hold the camera. Hold the camera.
I was disconnected. Once we get going, we'll be okay.
Gaffer tape is too much of a problem.
Does that mess up your shot?
I can get it from other angles. If it's not messing yours up, I guess that you might be out of it.
Right, let me see. I think, wait, let me just see. 1 second.
Okay.
That's actually my shot.
That's your shot?
Yeah, looks like that.
Your shot? Look, so let's get out of the shot. Wait, I'll call you back. Here. I'm just going to put it back on this desk. This will keep you good.
Look at the desk being closer.
That's okay. This will pick it up.
Do you want this desk closer?
No,
Yeah.
not, wait. Here. I
You have
think
it?
it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. We'll just get sound from here. That's fine. Okay. Okay. I think this is fine. Let's just do this. Okay. That's okay. There. We got a nice frame behind her. And okay. Okay, I'm gonna just keep it this way. Okay, we're almost ready to go there. Okay, I changed the shot and I just,
Do you know how?
okay, and the sun is out, and the sun
Sorry.
is out on,
So softly. I'm not used to all this
okay,
noise.
do you hear her?
Huh?
Well, she is talking.
Testing.
Oh, I just muted it. Okay. Okay. What is that thing? What is that? Oh, it's a behind her. Oh, that is the. Oh yeah, that's a camera thing. Maybe.
This is just ridiculous. This is
And this should. How does it? Are you getting her computer in there? That pole. Is that in your shot? That her pole with the computer? So it's not that good. Okay, let's move it. Are you on? Once you get your computer, is it on? Can you move this back? It's in the shot. Let's just move it to the side a little bit. The whole thing. Okay, that's better. Perfect. Okay, how's that for you guys? Okay. Are you looking? Okay, ready? All right, I think we're ready to go, huh? Yes. It's just a couple of airplanes flying over. Okay.
We're getting everybody connected.
Okay, great. Can you just say something? Say hello.
Say hello.
Just project. Could you? How will you be speaking a little bit so we can?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. Is that better?
I think it was a lot of. Oh, can you send her your frame up from your camera?
They're not going right
Oh, he
beside
did
us.
send it to
Right?
you.
Yes, we can.
By text? You sent her a text?
Yeah.
Yes. I know. Well. Okay. I think we're right. I should hang up. I want to save my streaming power on my phone. Text Bruno, okay? Okay, it's good. Okay. I think we're ready to go.
I'm gonna start like that.
Oops. Okay, you start. You ready? Everyone ready? Okay, we all ready? You good?
Oh,
Alan,
man.
would you like
Yeah.
to begin?
Yes.
Please?
Yes, yes.
How are we zoomed in?
Are we all ready to go here? All right.
Yep.
Can we just move this? How do you want me to?
Here, yes, this would be.
Project down.
Okay. Thank you all for coming here to this beautiful setting for one of the most amazing announcements I think the planet will hear. This is Anjali, who's had direct experience with these beings. They've come to her, they've directed her to be here, and she's going to deliver a statement from her experience and also see what else wants to be said today. So thanks so much for being here, Anjali. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and go ahead, it's all yours. Thank you all for being here. We'll take questions after.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon. Many of you know me by Anjali, because that's how I chose to come forward with the name of what the higher beings that I am here to disclose to you about today have called me, since I have become aware of their presence. Being at the nation's capital comes with its sacrifices. Thank you. My legal name is Angelia Lynn Schultz. That's A-N-G-E-L-I-A. Lynn is L-Y-N-N. Last name Schultz, S-C-H-U-L-T-Z. I was born on February 1st, 1972 in Fort Smith, Arkansas, on the way across the country with my very pregnant mother, where we landed in Jacksonville, Florida, where I grew up. At that time, my name was Angelia Johnston, Johnston. Many of you would have known me growing up as Angie. I went to Mamie Agnes Jones Elementary School in Maxwell, Florida. I graduated from Nathan Bedford Forrest Senior High School in Jacksonville, Florida, that has since been renamed as West Side High. Thank goodness. I graduated from high school in 1990. I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in 1992. I was stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base, where I was married and later divorced. And at that time, you may have known me as Angelia Belter. That is B-E-L-T-E-R. Or you would have known me as Angie Belter. I worked in the 28th Medical Group Air Transportable Hospital for orthopedic surgery during the First Gulf War. After I graduated and entered into the Air Force, I attended Black Hills State University in South Dakota. At that time, you would have known me again by my maiden name, Angie Johnston, or Angelia Johnston. That is how I graduated in 2003, Black Hills State University in South Dakota. I attended graduate school at South Dakota State University in the Department of Rural Sociology, where I was pursuing my master's degree. At that time, during my coursework, I was recruited by the Defense Intelligence Agency to come to Washington, D.C. and be an intelligence officer. In the effort of full disclosure, I was trained in information operations and information warfare, in human factors analysis. This is not the type of intelligence that is ever directed at any of the interests of the United States people, our citizens, or our corporations. We have absolutely zero domestic charter for that, and so I want to just make sure that everybody is clear that I am not saying that we were using information operations here. I'm saying that this is our home office, and I was trained in that, and I just want you to understand that it wasn't for any other reason but to help our senior commanders and our executives of this nation to know how to best influence state and non-state leaders to influence their decision making for our best interests. In this pursuit, everything that I did at the nation's capital, I did with the highest morality and in the clearest conscience. I was struck ill when I was working at the Pentagon at the end of 2005. I spent quite a bit of time in the hospital and attempted to resign because after 6 months, I was not well enough to return to the agency. They did not accept my resignation. I want to be very clear. From that moment, I became a defense intelligence contractor with BAE Systems on a contract for the Defense Intelligence Agency. And the work that I did was commuting and telecommuting, doing some of our earliest open source intelligence, directed again outside the borders of the United States. In the best interest of the American people and in the best interest of peace, because the more information that our state leaders have on one another and understand one another personally, the more equipped they are to go into more diplomatic talks rather than talks of war. So I want to be very clear that the information operations that we were involved in this nation was about peacemaking and not war making, which is why I'm here today, to continue the peacemaking. Moment. In 2015, I was recruited by a contractor on the behalf of the United States Marine Corps to work at the Marine Corps Tactical Operations Group. This was in support of a Center of Excellence schoolhouse that prepares the executives of the Marine Corps for deployment, to understand their environment, and to prepare for the information gathering, and to be able to navigate that in a safe way while they're on the ground. I performed my duties as well as one could on the cusp of a cutting-edge technology. Every day, our information environment is changing right before our eyes. And as it's changing, one of the things that we're seeing is a coalescence of lack of information clarity and grassroots movements demanding more understanding, more transparency everywhere in the world. 2016, I resigned my position after sitting in a meeting and having difficulty cognitively following the pace of the discussion. I took my work very seriously, and any signs whatsoever of a memory disruption or an illness that was affecting me at that moment, I knew that the only choice that I had was to submit a resignation effective immediately, and that is what I did. It was shortly after that I ended up in the hospital in Southern California, where I remained for a couple of months, quite ill. The entire story is online. I'm sure there's going to be some questions, and I have no problem whatsoever answering any of those. But for time's sake, I'm not going to get into the details of it. They are available. Before I get into the next part that you're all really here waiting for, also in full disclosure, in 2013, I published a novel. It's called The Nameless. And I am telling you today not to buy it, all right? Because I don't want your money. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an e-publication on every profile on social media that I have, that you can go and download the book for free. This is not an attempt to make money, to sell anything, to build a brand, or to do anything except everything that I have said that I am doing. So with that said, I think that puts that to rest. All right, so moving on. On January 21st, 2018, it was a Sunday, I was sitting in a coffee shop in Southern California. I met two amazing people whom I have always referred to as Wayne and Trisha. When I first came forward and when I was first began giving interviews in March, April, May, I had not had any contact with them for some time. I knew that Wayne was living, and that was about all I knew. And then at the exact perfect timing, we reconnected. They are happy to know that this is happening today, and I have their absolute 100% full support in this effort and what we are doing here. They have asked that I keep their name and their address absolutely confidential, and this will be honored unequivocally. Wayne approached me, and after some time, he had gotten into a very in-depth conversation about consciousness of all things. He had lymphoma. I had, who knew? Didn't even know. I had recovered from Guillain-Barré, and yet I wasn't recovered. We knew something was lurking within my own DNA without knowing exactly what it was. And he pointed it out immediately. He said it was this, it was here, it was all of the toxicity in the environments that I had been working in literally the energy that had been created around me that had made me ill. And after what I had just gone through, I had to stop and give him my attention. He was saying something very different than anyone else had said to me yet, and I needed to hear it. After some time, he and his wife, Tricia, invited me to their home because he had excavated a tunnel into the side of the mountain that is his property after he had met what he called aliens. He said he had seen them. He had seen their craft up in the sky above his mountain many nights, and he had become obsessed with finding out more. And he said that he had gone on top of his mountain and that they had been there. And that they told him that they were inside, that they had a base inside of the mountain. And from that moment on, he had one singular mission, and that was to get inside that mountain. Is there anyone here who doesn't understand that? Who couldn't relate to that kind of sudden obsession? He said that he had successfully found them. And he would bring them to me, or bring me to them, if I would like. Of course I would like. I know this is a difficult thing for all of you to accept. Why would she go to a secret location with people that she just met? Well, why would she have a press conference on the lower promenade of the Lincoln Memorial and tell you the truth about it? And where's the press? Why didn't they come? I went because I had absolutely nothing to lose. Nothing. Just like you. It was either true or it wasn't. And the only way I was going to know is if I went. And so, in an olive branch of trust, they provided me with their names, their address, and their phone number. I verified, I texted them, made sure their phones, we were connected, it was real. So I sent it off to a couple of friends, including my daughter, let her know exactly where I was going, and with whom, and why. She was concerned. So, at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, January 21st of 2018, I entered a tunnel that had been excavated by a man who, yes, knows how to do it and laughs wholeheartedly at the idea that it can't be done. It's quite amusing. I entered the tunnel with 4 people, Wayne and Tricia, and another couple whom they're no longer in contact with. After a few minutes of walking into this nicely excavated tunnel, I just have to say that, there was a light ahead of us, and we began walking a little bit quicker. And when we rounded the corner, there were 2 different races of beings that were standing there. There was a gray I do not believe that he is organic in the way that we understand. Also, not a drone in the way that we understand. But a body that holds a consciousness that interacts. There were also several other beings that were what we typically, now I understand, call in this community, the phenomena community. They were all well over 6, approaching probably 6.5, maybe a little bit taller. Very tall. They would stand out in this crowd. We would all notice. They had fine white hair, warm, not cool colored, a warmish white, but their skin, they're radiant. They have, it's nearly alabaster, but I don't mean to imply cold or hard, just beautiful and stunning, and makes you want to run your hand across it. After saying hello to me, and at the time, nearly feigning surprise. "Oh, hello, Anjali," they said. "We've been waiting to talk to you." They wanted me to accompany them deeper into their base. And I want to make something very clear, that from where this excavated tunnel is, which is mostly rock, okay? People who live in the Mojave Desert, they understand what I'm talking about, and they know. It's pretty stable. Where it ended and where their space began was seamless. There was nothing there. It just suddenly was, okay? This wasn't like there was a physical edge that I could delineate. They took me into a room where I met several of the most amazing beings that are here. One was in a body approaching 8 foot tall, taller than the door that was like a sliding hatch door. I looked up into the room on the other side of the door to meet the face of a being that had been giving me visits. And I thought at the time that this being was probably about 4 feet tall. Such is the nature of this phenomena. This being in physical form has chosen an 8 foot tall form with lavender skin that looks like a very beautiful praying mantis. A mantis. I wish nothing more than for the outcome of all of this to be for you to see the beauty in the faces that I saw that day. There are beings of light that literally, when you look at them, it is like there is just a membrane that encapsulates a humanoid form. You can't see through it. It's not transparent. It's light. It's there. It's some of the highest consciousnesses that exist. Some of the purest love. Thank you for your patience. There was a table that came up out of the floor and I laid on it. And they removed my consciousness from this body. And it was beneath me. I had no feeling. And there was a mist that I can only describe as light. Everyone knows what a misty morning looks like. Imagine if that mist, if every little dot of water was a little fragment of light. And that's what I was experiencing. And it was absolutely pure, astonishing love. And the entire time they're saying, wake up, wake up. Remember what you're supposed to be doing. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. And prepare to transcend. They explained to me about something that took me a very long time to remember the word. I wasn't even sure until I underwent hypno-regression. I had to be certain. They explained something about the evolution and growth of consciousness through learning. And they used a word called density, but I didn't understand that. They were trying to wake me up. They were saying to me, the veil is very heavy. Wake up. Remember what you agreed to do. After some time, they escorted me back to the opening of the tunnel, where the tunnel met their base. And Wayne stepped forward into the space that I was in, and immediately we were standing in his home. I grabbed my head and screamed some expletives like I can never repeat on air. You can imagine. And their friends and his wife, they just said, "Oh, you're back. That's what's going on." We are back under this archway that divides one side of his house from the other. And he had told me that when he was done visiting them, that they would always put him back there. And this was before we went into the tunnel. And I thought, well, this is either going to be the greatest day of my life or I'm going to be killed, but, you know, at least they'll know who did it. I was shooting for greatest day. Everything about them spoke to their authenticity. And indeed, he was not kidding. In the very blink of an eye, we were moved from inside of that mountain back under that archway in his home. It's been a long and complicated journey for me since then. I was not always willing to do this. Even after they said, "But you agreed." They visited me several times to say, "But you agreed. Hurry." So, once again, I agreed. Before I talk about the message that they would like to speak to you today, I would like to talk about the formation of a team that will return to this tunnel, and with me and the owners of this property, this team will enter the base of these higher beings with every kind of known equipment that a scientist could possibly get his hands on. Those are the scientists I'm looking for. You've got equipment to measure? Let me know. We will be releasing some of the names of our team in the coming week or two. We have a couple of things that need to be worked out for their own sakes. You can imagine that even the people who want to be on this team are afraid to be on this team. And they're not afraid of the ones that are in the mountain. They're afraid of their human brothers and sisters walking around. They're afraid that you're going to cost them their career if they say, "Yes, I'll go. And I'll gather every piece of evidence I can. And I'll tell you everything I know." They're afraid that you're going to deride them, that they will be fired, let go, ostracized, accused of being in a cult. Everyone is so afraid, but they're mostly afraid of each other. Who else is there to be afraid of? We have an astronaut who has committed, and a lead on another. We have a well-known documentarian who will accompany us. We will take a chief investigative reporter who is well known. We will take academics, physicists, astronomers. Some have already been invited, and they're waiting to see the fallout of this, to see if they can afford to do it, or if they have to walk away from potentially the greatest moment of their lives. I urge you to be kind and patient, and to be supportive of absolutely anyone across the face of this earth who wants to join this team and is approved. There will be so much raw data that is produced and given to you, collected and given to you. I have pretty much given you everything but my blood type, which is O negative. There it is. You know, transparency and full disclosure and honesty is the only thing that I want here. And I am looking for those people who can help us all deliver that. Because the beings need us to be ready for contact. Just a moment. They want you to understand that you do not need to be afraid. That this cycle of learning this cycle of learning is coming to an end. Because humanity's consciousness is evolving. The way that consciousness forms and creates matter, which is just energy manifest, something that they want to help us learn to do as we evolve. All consciousness begins and ends in the same place, from what they call the source of all light. In the first and second densities, consciousness is learning about its environment. It's learning that it exists in a whole, as part of one. When the consciousness matures for third density learning, it is placed in an environment that is conducive to a sensory learning experience. They say that the third density, is the density of choice. It is where we learn to remember who we are, where the seat of our consciousness has originated, and which path we want to go down to explore that. They say that this is what we chose, each and every one of us, as a unique expression of the one source of creation, that each is an expression of that creation, which is also the creator. That we move through consciousness learning and coalesce at each stage. We bring what we have learned from each density into the next, and we begin to further coalesce as we return back to our purest form, which is light. These beings can travel on light because they are the light. They have been with us from the beginning. They have been where we are. Everything goes through the same cycle of consciousness development and recognition of itself. They have been where we are, and they have been guardians of our process. When every form of consciousness coalesces back into the pure light, it remembers fully and begins to learn how to create its own creation. And therefore, it watches. It watches other expressions of creation learning, because they only want to understand how to make their own. This is density learning. Once there is full recognition of oneself consciously, it immediately, you split your own consciousness. Your consciousness becomes many. And that informs the next creation. And that is the 8th density creation. That is the creator. And immediately, in order to learn, the creator forgets oneself and becomes first density again. And each time that this happens, consciousness spreads throughout everything, infinitely, for infinite learning, infinite gathering of understanding and wisdom. So yes, they have been here for a very long time. This cycle of third density learning has been called many things. It has been called reincarnation. It's been called creation and apocalypse. It's simply a beginning and an end of a cycle, okay? So that the next cycle can begin. So what we have now here on Earth is we have two things that are occurring simultaneously. We have natural cyclical changes of this Earth as it moves into its own density and becomes a 4th density environment. It will no longer be compatible for 3rd density experience, which is what they say these human biotechnology bodies give us here. We have been through this cycle long enough, and it's time for the next stage. I know there are going to be so many questions. And I really look forward to doing my best to answer them all. Sorry, I saw some ducks and it was such a nice relief. Oh. I think that it may be time for me to take just a brief moment, take a drink of water. Then I will be happy to answer any questions that you have to the best of my ability. We will upload this everywhere that we can. We ask you to do the same. This is neither a joke nor a brand attempt, nor any attempt to make any type of money. I'm not going to ask anyone to help fund this expedition. We will find the money. There are people who have it and they want this to happen. I'm not concerned. I just want you to understand how wholeheartedly I cannot wait to take this team back into this mountain. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Much gratitude. Woo! Much gratitude.
Take 5 minutes.
Yeah, just a few minutes so I can just cool off and drink a little water, please. Thank you.
Check this and make sure this was included all of it and stamp it. We got clean audio, baby, so we're good. All right, now I'll restart it for the Q&A, but at least we got the other one. Man, dude, I knew my cameras, I knew they were heating up. Dude, I'm like, whew. These Sonys, the APS-C ones,
Hi, how was that?
continuous moving, they're like 30-minute time limit, so you can disable
I know.
it. But girl,
A lot
once they're
of
running like 45,
jogging
they just
around,
get
but
so hot.
anyway, she's going to take some questions.
They have like an automatic shutdown, and I could tell we were getting close. That one
She did, that might have cut
right at
out,
the
but it
end,
was something like
all the rest, yeah, we're good.
January 18, 2018, but I think I'll ask her again. I'll ask her, but we're gonna. Okay.
Yes.
But we're gonna do an interview with her after she finishes the questions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I got them.
Yep. Yep.
But that was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything
Ask her if she wants the interview. She goes straight into the camera.
weird. No, I'll stick with it. Yeah.
Do you want to be identified by just your alias, or do you want your whole
Okay.
name in there? Or?
I will go by Auntie,
Okay, I
but
will.
you can identify me however you would
Okay.
like. That's
Okay. Let
purely
me
up to you.
let me
Okay,
go.
I found the press
Okay.
release on
Okay.
this.
I'll
So
talk.
Thank you.
Are you being
Okay.
identified, sir?
You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that was an incredible. Anyone have the question? I have. You said you went into the tunnel what day?
January 21st of 2018. It was a Sunday.
And their message to us is what through you?
That we need to prepare for contact. That is the most direct message that I can give you without having to keep you here all day. This is a physical disclosure, and it is a consciousness disclosure. And what I mean by that is that these beings do not speak language. They do not use words like we do. Their mouths do not move, and they make sound and begin to speak to us. Everything they do is what's called conscious communication. I want to differentiate that from the misunderstanding that this is telepathy. This is not telepathy. I don't know what that is. I don't do that. I think that might be what I'm trying to talk about without any idea of who you're talking to. Not setting intentions, not being super clear. Because conscious communication is so clear. It comes with everything. It's like a download. Okay, we can all understand that. Like an image, you get an image in your mind, and it comes encrypted with all kinds of information that immediately just downloads into your brain. And it includes intention, so you know, and it includes emotion. I have experienced nothing but love, compassion, kindness, patience, sometimes humor. Very, very kind and gentle beings. It is a fuller, richer, more accurate, more highly evolved form of communicating. And guess what, folks? It works with all of the higher beings. It works with all of them. So they want us to prepare for contact. And what we're doing today is soft disclosure. I am really putting my neck out here. I'm putting everything in my entire life on the line for this. And I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. I know I may not look ready sitting here today, but if they have to carry me through that tunnel, we're going.
Anybody have a question? Yes.
Yes.
I had a question about.
Come a little closer.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I had a question about Wayne and how the beings told him about the base. Did he do something to establish contact with him, or did they?
Question: how did Wayne hear about this space, and did he establish contact?
How did Wayne hear about the base?
Yeah. How did they tell him?
Well, he just said that they told him. I wasn't there, so I'm really not sure. But he said that they were on top of his mountain, and that he approached them and they had a conversation, and he told them, or they told him that that they had lived there for a long time and that there was a base inside, and that was about the extent of that I was informed of, and I didn't have a lot more questions after that, except how quickly can we get to the tunnel.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
When will this contact be, and why now?
Why now is because we are coming, like I said, to the end of 2 cycles is what we have here. We have a naturally occurring Earth cycle that we are faced with. And this is undeniable, okay? Not everything that we are experiencing is a man-made experience from terrible carbons and the way that we have treated our environment. Let me be very, very clear that we have treated it incredibly terribly. And this has been an issue among these higher beings. Because they are living here as well. Just a moment. And so, I think that's all they wanted to say. Yes, I'm sorry.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have? Yeah. It's up to you. Yeah.
Hello.
So your first experience contacting them, was it in person, or was your first experience actually a conscious connection prior to going to the base?
So do you mean my first contact in more recent years? Or is that what you mean? Like my first, like kind of my wake-up contact? Yes, that actually occurred while I was in the hospital.
Was that terrifying?
Pardon me?
Was that terrifying for you?
No, I was very at peace. I was curious, but I was very at peace. And at that moment, I felt myself feeling okay if I slipped away and just went to sleep. You know, I was hovering in that in-between place a little bit.
I was terrified.
Oh, no, I was not. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Quick question, experience of the Action Paranormal Society. We were supposed to have a room and you weren't feeling well, so we
Yes.
scheduled on Clubhouse. My question about the base.
Yes.
Did you get the feeling that it was a ship inside the mountain, or is this something that was actually like something that's already maybe existed inside the mountain before?
That is a wonderful question. I look forward to finding out. I am uncertain
Just
about
repeat
that.
the question. So
Okay, the question was whether or not whether what I was actually in was simply a ship that was inside the mountain, or if it was an actual base where a ship was parked. And my understanding at this point is that it's a base, but it's a very provocative question that I never have asked. So I look forward to finding out. Alan's going to call for me because I can't look to see who's...
All right, did you have a question? Just something loud.
You said that they didn't mean us any harm. You know, they said don't be scared. Are they speaking for them, this group inside this mountain, or for all beings that are on Earth? And then also, some people experience this phenomenon and feel a loss of control. How do you know that this love that you feel isn't something that I guess they're making you feel?
Well, let's take the first part of the question.
Yes, there's a whole bunch there. Could you? I don't remember.
The question was, the beings you met, are they speaking just for their race, or are they speaking for all extraterrestrial races?
The beings that I am in contact with refer to themselves as the Council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address that. They are guardians over this world because they were asked to be, and they are fulfilling their duty of guarding this, allowing us our free will to explore and to learn without remembering who we are, so that we can return, recognize ourselves, and experience the full breadth of consciousness again and again and again. The problem is that this is a polarity situation where, boy, we have really, really forgotten what we're doing here, guys. And we're destroying ourselves and our world, and we're trying to go out beyond our own borders into space as if we are ready to be space-faring species, lovingly contacting other worlds. Right now, we're just colonizers again. We have forgotten that we created this, and that this is our very own experiment for learning. We have forgotten that we are all from the same consciousness. The veil is so thick and so heavy, we believe that we are singular individuals, and that when we do this thing that we call die, that is the end. Or perhaps we just go to a heaven or a nirvana. Well, heaven and nirvana is return to the pure source. That's pure light, pure consciousness. And you are always on the path to that. Always. There is only a path back to light, because it is a circular path that we can seesaw one way. Intention that you set in your life. Consciousness is much more complicated than we think it is. They want us to grow. They want as many of us as possible to be ready for the next step, and to be ready to accept them without fear, without threat of violence, but hand in hand. Yes.
And when is that next step?
Well, the next step is getting the team together and getting into that mountain. So as soon as possible. I mean, I work on it nonstop. This will help facilitate some of the contact that I need, as well as some of the other others who have already committed, who are now going out and being ambassadors for this team and helping to find the next team member.
You talked about 4 races coming. Are they coming? Are they here?
Oh yes, they are. Yes.
Let's repeat that question. If you...
Oh, I didn't hear the question.
No, just that the races that are coming here, those beings that are coming.
Was there a question?
Yeah, are they here now, those?
Yes, yes. The four, I need to tell you that at the time, I really regret the way that it came across. This journey has been enveloping right before my own eyes, and every day my own knowledge and understanding of this process increases. The four are of no threat to humanity. They have a job. It is the end of a cycle of birth and rebirth, and is also the end of an earth cycle. And they're here to help facilitate our growth into the next thing that comes.
Tyler Transu with Dockside Productions and T2 Productions. I've been following this. Thank you, number one, Angela, for your courage and bravery coming out here today, disclosing your name, where you went to school, etc., so that you can be verified that you are who you say you are, as well as your credentials, on where you have worked. I think some skeptics may say you have the tools and the knowledge to get people to follow you. Is it possible, on the flip side, that the higher beings would see you as a good conduit or messenger for them because of your skill set?
Absolutely. I've always had a natural propensity towards this. When I was in high school, I was in Air Force Junior ROTC at what was then Nathan Bedford Forrest Senior High School. That was under Colonel Fair. And I did public relations. I think I was 14 years old when I began that. So I spent 4 years in high school focusing on doing public relations for that unit. So it's always been a natural thing for me. I don't feel terribly embarrassed or reverent or irreverent. I just feel, I'm just another person, and I feel very comfortable in my skin and with all of you. And so I think that perhaps just that level of comfort may definitely contribute to why this is so important that I am here rather than someone else. Experiencers are afraid, and they, like I said earlier, they don't want to be ridiculed, they don't want to lose their job, and we need someone who is willing to put themselves on the line, and that is me. That is why I'm here, because all I want is to be able to tell you all the truth. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
One more question, because I am melting.
Okay, go ahead.
George Knapp, investigative journalist, has publicly on Twitter expressed his willingness to join the expedition. Can you tell us if he's going to be joining you?
I will tell you that he and I are in personal communication.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Angelique. If people want to follow up with you, if they want a website, what would they do?
I think the best place to go is Twitter. I'm available there, and it's the most friendly platform right now. So I'm at Anjali on Gaia. That is not Gaia as in Gaia TV. That is Gaia as in Earth. I am not affiliated with any production company or any media company. I am just me. So thank you.
Well, we look forward to hearing from you again, and thank you for
Thank you all for your time. I'm very grateful for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I just need to get out of the sun.
Okay, let's go under a tree, okay?
That's what I was thinking. Right over here.
Yeah, okay, great.
Great work. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm just going to go right over here. I'm not running away yet.
Oh, no, I believe you, yeah.
Oh,
dude, everybody's smoking hot. The cameras are smoking hot.
Oh, wait. It's got me.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, let me get... There's somebody's mic up there.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll come get yours quick.
So sorry.
Oh, no worries. That's my man's here, right?
Yeah, I'm shaking right now.
Oh, I know. Dude, it's a scorch of humidity. Let's see.
Oh, yes.
Right here. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I will get you a link then. Man, we're in business. We got both clean
All right,
audio.
great. We'll just do a 15 minutes and then we'll finish. Okay. We're going to go over to the tree, under the tree, and just. Is that good? Yeah. Okay. That was good, huh?
Yeah, very nice meeting you too.